Good morning, Bishop Lynch. Today is Wednesday, February 8th. I'm Gabriel Cook.
And I'm Sarah Gale.
And you're watching this week's edition of Across Campus.
It's like gold dust, you hear me coming through your speakers. You see me mashing up your airwaves. I know you can't get enough of my sound. Gold dust.
One of the most important decisions the people of our country make every 4 years is engaging themselves in the presidential election. This year's election is especially intriguing in the event that our current president, Barack Obama, will be running once again for his second term. In choosing our presidential candidates, we must take into careful consideration the qualities and opinions of those involved in the presidential election of 2012. Jeff and Lujane have more on this report.
With 2012 comes another presidential election. With many issues facing our country right now, what does the Bishop Lynch community think that America needs as a president this upcoming election? What are the important issues in this year's election?
Well, obviously the increasing debt, working on bringing that back down to a normal level is pretty important. Unemployment, just stimulating our economy again to get it back to the way it was in the 80s.
Well, in terms of the American electorate, the economy is always the number one issue. People working, economic growth, and that's no different in this one. Usually presidential elections are decided by that factor. Still have, of course, the terrorism and other things like that, but mostly the economy is what elections are about for the president.
What matters to people in their daily life is the economy, and so ultimately I think it's going to come down to that. And also another issue that's fairly big, at least on the conservative side, is the health care plan that has been put in place.
With over $15 trillion in debt, high unemployment rates, and other issues facing our country right now, what does the Bishop Lynch community think that they need in a president this upcoming election?
I think that we really need a president who knows that you can't spend more money than you have. So that's definitely like a big issue. And then the whole healthcare thing, like why ruin the greatest healthcare in the world?
What does our country need in a president right now?
I don't think it's necessarily now than any other time. You know, leadership is leadership, and sort of a way to serve as a steward of our country's hopes and aspirations, and that's, you know, leadership in just about any role and any function is absolutely the number one priority. I think that's no different here as we try and get the American people galvanized together in some way about the cogent issues of the day.
Say we need a president who recognizes the seriousness of the debt situation that we're in. And this is where real leadership is going to have to come in. The problem is we're committed to spending so much money in our entitlement programs, Social Security, Medicare, various other types of welfare programs, that it seems virtually impossible to see where you can cut enough money to get the budget back on track. So we need somebody who can negotiate with Congress, who can work with Congress, who can actually get a plan in place that begins to cut the spending.
How do you suggest that the Bishop Lynch community that has the ability to vote get involved in this election?
I think everyone should definitely just do their research on the election.
Just go out and vote. Like, you know, if you're 18, I mean, it's a pretty important thing is getting your voice out there. And
With this upcoming election will hopefully come positive change in our country. We can only hope that during these trying and difficult times, America will get the president that it truly needs. This has been Jeff Sullivan and Illusion Taylor reporting for Across Campus.
Across the country, citizens everywhere are engaging in the presidential election by adhering to debates and considering alternative values of the candidates. Citizens have high hopes for contributing their votes in order to elect an official that will lead our country to a more prosperous future. Thanks, guys, for that report.
Crime has changed over the years to become as viral and as advanced as the technology we have available today. Online piracy, illegal music downloading, and online infringement are examples of modern-day crime. In an effort to halt these unlawful acts, bills such as the Stop Online Piracy Act and the Protect IP Act have been presented to the United States Senate and the House of Representatives.
Today we have become accustomed to the web being at the tip of our fingers. We also have become used to the endless amount of content that is available on the web. The bills SOPA and PIPA have been introduced to Congress to stop the illegal sharing of content on the web. But does BL know what piracy is and how these bills will affect it?
Well, copyright, there's a lot of different nuances to copyright law. The fundamental thing is, how do I protect the originator of the work? How do I protect their rights to that material and make sure that if they choose to earn a living by selling or distributing copyrighted material, that they're protected from piracy or illegal use of it?
What do you know about SOPA PIPA?
It's an anti-piracy act that Congress is trying to pass to stop people from downloading music or not giving credit to the musicians for their work.
Well, those are two acts of legislation. One is for treaties that have to do with how to enforce software and copyright violation and piracy. And they were extremely controversial and will remain so until they really solve this problem.
Piracy is a growing epidemic in our society. With so many people using the internet today, it has become a trend to illegally download content from the web. Online piracy has become a major problem. It is not only illegal, but it is also taking an extensive amount of revenue away from artists and producers. If SOPA and PIPA is to take action, many people will lose the luxury of downloading songs, movies, and other media for free. SOPA and PIPA will not only protect the rights of artists and producers, but could also block the use of YouTube, Twitter, Wikipedia, and other superior websites for the entertainment and facts of the internet users. How will SOPA and PIPA affect students and faculty of BL if it were to take action?
I wouldn't be able to go onto some of the websites that I usually do and download music. I sometimes go onto YouTube and change the video to an MP3 file or just other various music websites.
Actually, if it passes, it will. If you post a video on Facebook, you can serve up to 5 years in prison or have a huge fine.
Have you gotten involved in trying to change these bills or petition against them?
I have not, but I'm just kind of hoping that they don't pass.
Well, I signed a petition on Google a couple weeks ago.
Not at all. Just because I don't know the whole process, like the whole getting involved process, like trying to help out.
Have you ever downloaded or shared illegal internet content?
Yes, I have. I share music and sometimes watch videos and other things like that.
Yes. I download a lot of music and I share out my music to other people a lot.
Yeah, I get a couple of my jams from illegal websites, download some music that's illegal, watch a couple movies. That's about it.
Remember, stray away from illegal internet content because it could land you in jail. Also, try and get involved in stopping these bills. It is very easy to go online and sign the petition. Every name counts. This has been Chris Adams and Eddie Erlbacher reporting for Across Campus.
So whether you agree with these acts or you have different views on how the government can control online piracy, these two bills are conducting extreme media attention and opening the eyes of all internet users around the nation. Thanks, guys, for that report.
And now it's time for this week's edition of
The Walk Across.
Thursday is a B-Day. The Junior Student Council is selling carnations, and at 4 o'clock p.m. there's a tennis scrimmage against Dallas Christian.
I've been lonely. I've been waiting for you. I'm pretending.
Friday is an A-Day. Carnation sales are still going on. There's a 5:30 p.m. softball scrimmage at Mansfield Timberview. At 6:30, the varsity women's basketball is playing Bishop Dunn, and at 8 p.m., the varsity men's basketball is playing Bishop Dunn.
So for Valentine's Day, I was thinking go see a movie, get some dinner, and stuff like that, you know?
So about that homework, Stoney, you got that covered yet? You got it ready to turn in?
Saturday, varsity women's and varsity men's soccer has regionals. Saturday night is the Believe auction, and both Saturday and Sunday there's a 12:30 p.m. musical rehearsal.
It's time for theology, young ones.
Monday is a B-Day. Progress reports come out, carnation sales are still going on, and there's a 4 o'clock p.m. tennis scrimmage versus PCA at home.
This is exactly what got y'all into this Saturday detention.
Tuesday is Valentine's Day, so buy your carnations. It is also an A-Day, and at 4 o'clock there's tennis practice. At 5 o'clock is softball at R.L. Turner. At 6:30 p.m. is varsity women's basketball at JP2, and at 8 o'clock p.m. is varsity men's basketball at JP2.
Kids these days.
Wednesday is a B-Day with mid-morning assembly schedule and 4 o'clock p.m. tennis practice. Don't forget to tune in to your next week's edition of Across Campus.
Thank you for watching this week's edition of Across Campus.
We'll see you next week,
where the news is
right where you are,
across campus.